last one I put up. Oh well, it's not going to stop me. I not trying to do this again. Basically, too many people seem to have this impression that they can just say and do what they want when it comes to. I mean, we've all seen the videos, the police body cam footage videos, and we see how people behave during a traffic violation, a traffic stop. And I'm just really wondering, why is it that it's always the same? It always seems exactly the same. They always say the same things. The suspects, not the police officers. Well, we all know the police officers will say the same things. But when the suspects all have a language, I mean, they use such phrases as "what I do," or and repeat that, or "I didn't do nothing," "why'd you pull me over?" And these are certain. There are tons of these phrases that they will repeat over and over and over again. And the strangest thing is that it definitely shows a lack of intelligence in these people's, ability to speak normally. As soon as a cop pulls up behind them, it's like any intelligence they have goes out the window, and they just resort to primate mode, and and just they can't help just but make a fool of themselves. I mean, it's really easy. You don't do stupid shit, you won't win stupid prizes. If you don't fuck around, you won't find out. Um, but so many people do. So many people are so willing to just keep walking into, into the criminal lifestyle for some reason or other. I don't understand it. I mean, they see what happens to people who commit crimes, and yes, in a lot of cases, as of the past few years, we've had tons of criminals commit crimes, but yet they get released the very next fucking day, if not the same, the very same day. I mean, I used to hear that phrase a lot. It's like all these kids would get arrested but get out the very next day. Now it's literally within the same fucking hour. It's absolutely asinine. In my day, a cop would have had no problem yanking my ass up if they caught me doing something wrong, and they would throw me at my parents and obviously punish my parents to where my parents would end up punishing me. Rightfully so. And for me, the only benefit that I can see from watching all this body cam footage is that it really does give you a deep insight to a lot of people's mentality. It's like when it comes to, not only when it comes to dealing with police, but with basically with their whole life. And I mean, I don't know what it is. It just seems like police will set someone off to a point where it's like I said, they throw all logic out the window, and nothing that is told to them registers. You know why I pulled you over? No, what I do? And the cop will explain to them exactly what they did, detail for detail, and they will not. They just won't get it. It just won't stick, and I don't know why. And I know I'm not the only person to say this. I know I'm not the only person to say this, but nobody's asking the question: how do we fix it? How do we fix the stupid people? I hate to say that too, because there's a lot of great people out there. A lot of great people, but there are just so many facets of them that are in fact stupid. Me, myself, and I'm including myself in on this. There's a lot of things about me that are stupid. Okay, I do a lot of stupid shit, and it's like I've said before, we all do stupid shit, and everybody's always said we do stupid shit. We can't get away from that stupid shit, but it's how far you take that stupid shit to where you don't get the cops called on you, and you don't get people hurt other people. That's the line. You have to find that balance between being a good person and being a jack-off. And we get so many people are willing to be a jack-off, far more. I mean, I've called people a jerk before, and every time, I only do it because they deserve that. There are certain words that people don't like anymore, but there are certain words that were used for a specific reason. It was to tell a person, hey, you fucked up, you're a jerk. I don't like the word jerk. Well, sorry, that's what you are. You know? It's like words have meaning. And they were created for that very reason. So to dismiss the meaning of a word, just flat out, as so many people would do, especially in front of a police officer, or hell, even our politicians, to create words, make words, and just reinvent them and redefine them, just like with our movies. Everybody's trying to reinvent, reimagine, reboot for modern audiences. And so I'm sorry, but the modern audience has an attention span of a gnat. No, they like to say goldfish. No, they have a fucking attention span of a goddamn gnat. Motherfuckers can't think for themselves, and once you put any information that goes in, it's wait, what'd you say? Yeah, it's like you can tell them, don't walk across the road, the light's red. Okay. Bam, and they get hit, and then they wonder, why did they stop for me? Fuck, you know what I mean? I watch way too much body cam footage. I really do. I didn't want to be that person, but it's just. I've always grew up watching cops, and other police style shows, and I'm telling you what, it's definitely changed. Back in the day, it was like, as soon as the cops walked up, they found who the suspect was. They didn't even let the person start going on a rant or a tirade or nothing. It's like as soon as they got from the victim what was happening, they went over to the suspect and it was, hey buddy, this is what we're taking you for, and boom, boom, lock them up, and that was it. Put them in the car, they're gone. Now it's like it's a fucking therapy session every time a cop makes a stop. You know, you got to hear everybody's fucking life story. It's like, just give them your ID, license, registration license, ID, all that, and just get on your fucking way. Don't stop giving the cops a hard fucking time. How hard is that? I mean, God, what I do? I just told you what you did, sir. And they just, what I do? You're a broken fucking record, aren't you? It just does. Where do these people come from? I mean, it's so many people out there. So many that can't seem to get their shit together. And yet, right now, anybody watching is and seeing me act this way, like, oh, he's being kind of irrational, kind of harsh. No, I am a person who is fed up. A person who is tired of being the person that's getting this kind of abuse. On the fucking daily. I said before, I have walked past people and genuinely was having a great day. Walk past somebody, go, hello. I smile at people when I pass, and every single one of them, they either have no expression on their face, or they're angry about something. I don't get it. Can't we all just fucking get along? Remember who said that? That's the problem. Nobody wants to get along with anybody for any reason. Because then they have to do something for somebody else, and nobody wants to do anything for anybody else. There are still some people who do. I know one person in particular who wants to do something for everyone. Only one. I really can't think of anybody else. And it's really pissing me off. That I can't find the decency in this world anymore. I can't find a person who I can talk to on an intellectual level that's not filled with broken euphemisms and broken English and just half-baked ideas. And yes, I know I ramble and I rant. It's part of being bipolar ADD, I guess. Even though I don't like being labeled like that, because I'm still a fully functional person. So to give me a mental diagnosis such as that, it automatically puts me at a disadvantage. Oh, he's got bipolar disorder, so we can't take him seriously. Or he's got ADHD, so you don't have to listen to him. It's like, really? I'm being invalidated because of a slight chemical imbalance in my brain. Ugh. And yet we got a whole bunch of people out there all getting all pissed off when somebody says a slightly offensive joke. You can call me anything you want. I've said that before. Besides 2 words. And nobody's guessed them yet. Keep offering for you guys to guess them, but you're not guessing. The divide between us has gotten so bad because, again, nobody wants to talk to anybody else. You know, unless you find somebody who is identical to you. You know, yeah, your friend, you know, or the person you're going to be with the rest of your life. But in my personal opinion, you should never be around people that are exactly like you. Because what if you aren't exactly the greatest person? You're just going to attract someone who's not exactly the greatest person, or worse. I mean, I had more in common with the quiet kids than I did with any other group in my school. And there was only one kid who was on the baseball team who I was cool with, and he looked after me because I did get bullied in high school quite a bit. I was literally the cream in a sea of chocolate, okay, to put it that way. Oh, I'm so sorry that I offended that person. Ooh. But that's the truth of it. That is the absolute truth of the fact. I was persecuted because I was weak, I was small, and everybody else around me was fucking 6'7", and they either played on the football team, the basketball team, you know, and I'm getting patted down for my lunch money on the regular. And I'm supposed to have empathy for people like this. I'm supposed to have an understanding for people like this and tolerate people like this. No. Who could? I just watched a young boy yesterday. You can see the video on my channel. Even though I didn't get a picture of the actual boy, because I was too busy zooming in. But the police arrested a little boy. A little boy. Now, I don't know what happened, but I was pulled from school by the police because I finally snapped. I retaliated. That bully did not see me coming. You've all seen the memes, you know, the one quiet white kid in the class, he reaches in his backpack and everybody scatters, you know. It's like, no, I'm sorry. It's like, I wasn't at that level. But I was the level that the next person who poked at me or prodded at me or pissed me off, I snapped on him. There was this one kid who kept flicking me behind my ear, and his ears were bigger than mine. And I had enough. I stood up, turned around, and I cold cocked him right in the fucking jaw. His head went back, hit the back chalkboard, and his head hit the back of his neck hit the tray. And I'm like, oh, fucking hell. And I was the one who got in trouble. Because I was supposed to just, why did you hit him, Rick? Because he kept flicking me in my ear. Was that any reason to hit him? Was there ever a better time? I mean, the things that I've seen people get away with this day and age is absolutely atrocious. Murderers walking. We're about to release the fucking Menendez brothers. On some other circumstantial evidence that apparently just now was brought to light. I don't get it. I don't get it. Now, you see, I've never been in front of a judge, other than for one time, and that was only because I was being accused of something I did not do, and technically the case was thrown out because there was no evidence to prove that I did anything wrong. So I was exonerated from that. But that was the only time I ever actually appeared in front of a judge. But I was the most respectful, I was the most courteous person. I gave them my side of the story, and that is why I was not charged with anything. And yet there are so many people who do stand in front of those judges, already being there for the reasons that the body cams on these officers were invented for. And that's what's funny. The body cams, they were originally supposed to be there for to surveil, see if the cops were doing the right thing. But it backfired, and it started showing the behavior of the criminals. It showed them. So basically every officer became an episode of Cops. Every time they went out and pulled somebody over. And that was and that was by design, mind you. When you really stop and think about it, that was by design. Because in my opinion, body cam footage didn't hit its popularity until after the show Cops was taken off the air. Because of its thing, because of the way what they perceived of that show. Now I'm glad they brought it back, but it doesn't quite feel the same. But why do people not listen to the law? They won't listen to their parents. They won't listen to their teachers. They won't listen to the police. It's like, who would they listen to? That's the question that nobody's asking. Like, who do these kids listen to? And then of course someone will say, well, they listen to the rappers and they listen to the movie stars and the celebrities and stuff. And I'm like, well, yeah, there's those people because they seem to have the most influence over their life. And it's the influencers. I'm not trying to be an influencer, by far. I'm trying to be an informer, not an influencer. Big difference. I've never once told anybody to do what I do. You know, I never pushed anybody on anything. I just wonder, I think and I wonder why people just can't stop the bullshit. They can't behave themselves. Even people who claim to be the most gentlest, kind person, if you so much as bump into them, watch what you're going, you asshole! You're like, what the fuck? You know, hey, aren't you my neighbor? You're usually nice to me. As a matter of fact, I have a little story about that. I went to a church for a short period of time, and there was this one guy there who was nice and all that. He was a nice guy. I was at a little local Kroger, and I happened to recognize his ponytail. And I walk up to him and I go, hey, buddy. And he spins around and he puts his fists up, and I'm like, whoa, it's Rick from church. And he's like, you scared the fuck out of me, man. And I'm like, you're nicer in church. And he's like, well, and he just turned around and turned away from me. I'm like, wow. I went back over to my girlfriend. I'm like, hey, I'll tell you once we get out. I told her, and she just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I was in shock for a few days. And so when I went back to church the next day, next Sunday, which was one of the last times that I went, he was there, and again, he acted like nothing had happened. He was a perfectly well-rounded gentleman. I don't think he recognized me, and he came up to me and he's like, how you doing? Shook my hand, and I'm like, it's like, and I didn't say anything. Because I figured he would have, if he saw me, he would have been like, hey, I'm sorry about what happened at the store the other day. Nothing. But like I said, but the main reason why I stopped going to that church was because it literally started getting a little preachy. A little too preachy for my mind. I mean, there's a limit, you know. There's religion and there's taking it too far. But they just were going that line that I didn't really like to follow. I mean, yeah, so I stopped going. And when I went there, I noticed the way people behaved. And then I would step out and I saw how people behaved on the outside. And I'm like, this is two totally different realms, being inside a church and then being out on the street, seeing what you're seeing in both ways. I mean, the same thing is whenever you go to any kind of government or office building, for that matter. It's a totally different world. And outside of their own world, because, I mean, I from experience, I get up, I go to work, I come home, and I don't even remember anything from my trips to and from. You know, I don't remember looking at anything. I just get my ass home. And then when I get home, I don't, you know, I've got, like, what'd you do? Did anything happen? Like, no, I just went to work. You know, but if I noticed something, I would mention it. But so many people have that disconnect to where they don't want to notice anything at all. They don't want to notice, and even when it comes to something that they're doing wrong, they don't want to notice that they're doing wrong. We hear the commercials talking about digital dead walkers. Watch out for the digital dead walkers. They are real, you know. Or you know, watch out for cyclists. You know, yeah, because cyclists don't know how to watch out for themselves. It's like I just want to take that spandex they wear and go, you know, pull that helmet off their head, you know. I hate cyclists. I hate skaters. I fucking hate skaters. A buddy of mine used to, he tried to think he was a skater, and I'm like, dude, you ain't no skater, okay? And yeah, he fell on his ass quite a bit. However, like I said, I've never liked skaters. Because again, they are their own cult. We have too many cultures of people to contend with. You know, I mean, it's like West Side Story. You know, it's like everybody's got their gang, and that's sad. You know, because the only time you really see any unity is at like I don't know. I had to say like maybe community functions, but even then, who's really just there for any free thing, free shit, you know, free food or free drinks, you know. I mean, I just found out why it seems like so many people go to fast food restaurants now and always get a cup of ice water, because the fact is it's free. There are the freebies at people out there. People, that just sparked a memory. I remember hearing, watching a short series, show about people who are addicted to free stuff. Not quite like couponers, but these people literally go out of their way for absolutely anything free. I mean, if you can get a free water at a fast food restaurant, they'll give it. They'll take it. Even if they don't need it, they'll take it. Napkins and all that, and that's why they've been hiding all the condiment stuff from people, because in fact there's too many freebie people to take them out there. I saw a video once of a woman who took all the mustard and all the ketchup, went home, individually opened each one of these packets and squeezed it back into the bottles that she had at home. I'm like, wow, what a cheapskate. And I know they got the show about that all too, but and that's the thing too. Again, there's so many ways to show how people are. You don't know who's living right next door to you. When they walk out, they could be the well-pressed, well-dressed guy in the world. You take one step inside their place, it's a fucking garbage bin. You're like, whoa, dude, you're wearing the freshest fucking gear, and your house looks like a tornado hit it. What the hell? Like today, I know there's kind of this, I shouldn't be talking about the people's homes that I go into, but y'all are nasty. Y'all are fucking nasty. I mean, even at the complexes that I used to work at, even then, some of the people there were even better clean than this complex. My God, every fucking unit was a disgrace. Some of them had kids in there, and a lot of old people too. So maybe that's one reason why. But those people don't deserve to be living all alone in a filthy apartment, And that is what upsets me, is when I see people who ignore their elderly seniors of their family. They lose their home and they move into a little apartment and they get forgotten about. My God, we always visited my great grandma. At her nursing home, so she never felt unloved. But the looks in some of these people when they open their door, when you're checking their furnace or have to check their batteries and their thing, they look utterly miserable, and I can't stand to see that. I can't fucking stand it. And I can understand if they don't have any family left in their life. I can understand that. But there's got to be something better. There's got to be a better way to help these people without federal government assistance. Without federal funding going towards programs and other shit that's never going to get to them. That's what pisses me off. We say we need more. Like, where's all the money for the homeless? No, we get money for fucking roads and bridges. And 500 miles of bike trails, sidewalks, and bridges and shit here in Ohio. Where's the money for the homeless? That is really pissing me off. We can invest millions on Intel, we can invest millions on our roads and bridges, and we can invest millions on 500 miles worth of fucking roads, bridges, and bike trails, and sidewalks and shit. But where's the money for the homeless? Where is that? Not one fucking penny. And do you know why? Because that's Mr. Good Old Sherrod Brown for you. I'm glad in 2022 that I voted to help get Tim Ryan out of the fucking way, and that's how we got J.D. Vance. So that was just gold. I loved it. It made me a little bit more hopeful than I am now. Like I said, my anxiety is so fucking high. I'm about to pop. I can't wait. I just can't wait any longer. I have to know. I have to fucking know now. I'm hearing really, really good things. And we just got to get there. We just have to get there. And if we don't, I don't know. I don't fucking know. We're fucked. We're fucked. Easy way to say it. Because not a way in hell that if I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I just don't understand why so many people have to look at other people as if they're crazy. You know, just because they don't know them. I mean, not a lot of people know me, but for the ones that do, they know I have a certain je ne sais quoi. But that doesn't make me a bad person. There's just some things about people that you'll never like. Some things that that have been ingrained in your being that you'll never get along with or never care for, and that's perfectly fine. How you feel about this opinion or that opinion, you know, what you want to do with your life. You know, nobody once you're a certain age, nobody can tell you what to do with your life. So, there's always that. But even then, you have to respect the other people around you and respect the fact that they are just like you, and the fact that they have their own opinions, their own beliefs, their own way of living life. And I understand that. But man, oh man, I still have the right to say when the fact is these people, oh my God, clean your homes. You should never have fresh food cooking with roaches crawling around. I mean, if you have roaches crawling out of your smoke detector, that's a problem. That's a problem. Especially when they're right above you. So here, let me go ahead and take this down. Ah, fuck. That's always fun when you get a pile of dead roaches from a fucking smoke detector falling on you, or a vent cover. Whoa. Close your eyes, close your eyes. But yeah, people will live the way people will live, and nothing I say will ever change it. I mean, if I had to say, yeah, when I see these people's units, like, oh, hey, you cannot be doing this, You walk in on a massive fucking remodel, they're painting the walls, throwing fucking wallpaper everywhere, drilling holes and everything. You're like, whoa, what are you doing? We caught a guy actually putting 10 cots in his basement, and he was making a room for himself in the basement to live in while he rented out 10 cots in his basement, and he was renting out each room in his 3-bedroom apartment, 1.5 baths. So he was going to have all these people living in his unit, paying him to live there. But as maintenance does, you go in for a filter check or a battery check, and you see 10 cots laying down there in the basement, all made up and ready to go, and you got a room crafted in the corner of the basement. Yeah, you're going to ask what's going on. So they evicted him, and I had to tear down the little room he made. It was fun. He had drywall. He was getting ready to run the electricity. He was breaking off the electrical wires and going to run into sockets and switches and shit. I'm like, well, at least he was talented. Hope he can find a job. See, that's the thing too. If he was that talented, why couldn't he find a job? Why was he going to sit there and let? You know why? That's right, because he was actually a Mexican who was going to allow illegal immigrants to live in his basement and rent out the rooms in his apartment. And once we caught him, we were like, no, siree. No. Bye. No deposit, no return. But like I said, it's like people will go to any lengths to do what they feel is right in their own mind, just as I will. But there's a limit to how far people should be going. I mean, to call people names like I've been hearing. I mean, right now, there are more labels and names put onto a person such as myself than any other culture. Any other culture. I'm a racist. I'm a fascist. I'm a Nazi. I'm a sexist. I'm a bigot. I'm a misogynist. I'm a sadist. I'm a masochist. I'm a narcissist. I'm an egotist. Yet I am none of that. I'm a realist, if anything. So it's like people keep talking about let's keep it real. And they are the fakest in the world. I hear it all the time on these streams, these live streams, and He's like, I'm just keeping it real. No, you're not. You're putting on the biggest face in the world. Your ass is faker than them Chinese, Instagram models. Turn off that filter. Woo boy. Woo. Have you seen those girls? Jesus. I thought it was creepy enough when they were pulling off half their face after a date, and it's like, they went from being a fucking, gorgeous person to just, Anywho, that's just a little bit more of what's on my mind. And if you like what's on my mind, I have a whole channel full maybe about close to 310 videos at this point. And I got about 184 subscribers, and I am proud and happy and thankful for every single one of you. So thank you for hanging in there with me and standing by the rambling rants of a man who has a hard time putting 2 sentences together, let alone a whole fucking 31-minute live stream. So, till next time, I'm Ravage. Thanks for tearing it up with me, and I will see you whenever. Mm-hmm.